Jordan Peterson gets owned by two college kids in a debate on Jubilee. For those of you who don't know Jubilee, I don't know if you're under a rock, but it's one of the best channels. It's the best for debate. And it's such a great YouTube channel idea. But Jordan Peterson is there to argue Christianity over atheism. So he's there to represent the Christian surrounded by a group of people who are atheists. And man, do we have some amazing stuff for you. But before I get into it, please, if you know, please subscribe. I know a lot of you are probably like this, you know, you're a brand new channel. I've been doing this a long time. I just had previous channels. And when I started getting into the political stuff, it didn't really work out in terms of like, it was kind of crossing audiences. So I decided to make a channel solely for this. So if any of you happen to come across this content and you like what you see, I will be doing this every day forever. Okay. So every day religiously. So you will get plenty of content. Again, just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified when I drop a video, and let's get into it, man. This is going to be, this is going to be really amazing to watch. All right, here, let's move this up here. Okay, let's check it out.
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're
Their
familiar.
doctrines are very
How do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
He's like, don't be a smartass. Why? Because he's calling you out? You came to a Christian debate to argue for the Christian. You are the one Christian in the room. The entire subject matter of the video is one Christian takes on a room full of atheists. You're the guy that's there to say that you're a Christian. Now all of a sudden you're not a Christian in the middle of the debate. I mean, you want to talk about being a smartass? That's being a smartass.
Well,
And I mean,
Like, what the hell are you doing there then?
Either you're a
because I
Christian
won't
or you're
talk
not.
to you if you're a smartass.
Oh, either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression
private.
I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No,
I mean, you could hear the breath come out of the whole room because it's like every single person there is there to debate a Christian. That's what they're there to do. So why the hell are you there if you're not a Christian? It makes absolutely no
you
sense.
were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something. You.
Yeah, he has to make it about him. See, this is what happens when you have to attack the character of the person because you're losing the debate. Everybody knows this. This goes all the way back to the beginning of time. You're losing a debate when you start attacking the character. And he's losing the debate right now to this young man who has him hand over fist over a barrel. And there's nothing he could do about it because even he was like, no, you were invited here to, and in his mind, you could literally see it click like, oh, crap. Yeah, you're invited to debate a Christian. Yeah, so anyway, he goes in to attack the kid.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
See, he said to him, you're really quite something. And he said, and you're apparently really quite nothing, right? Which, don't get me wrong, is not, I know a lot of people were like, yeah, but that's mean. Jordan Peterson, he's like, he wasn't calling him nothing like he's insulting him, the person. He was saying, you're really quite nothing, meaning you're not an atheist nor a Christian, apparently. So you're here debating and you're not really anything. So what are you debating for if you're not either? And that was the whole point of his argument. And of course, Jordan Peterson has to say, okay, I'm done with him. I'm not arguing with him. I'm debating with him because you got schooled. You got schooled. You're a moron, dude. What are you talking about? Like, you're there to be the Christian. It's insanity. But anyway, we have another clip from this. This is even better if you ask me. This is such a great clip. This is another kid who just absolutely owns Jordan Peterson.
Do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean
How
when
is
you
that
say you
circular?
believe?
How is that circular?
There's nobody better at arguing semantics than Jordan Peterson. Like, he'll literally jump to the biggest semantics you've ever seen. It's just, he's so extraordinary. It's unbelievable.
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if
What's
you
a
believe
belief?
something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? Because what you're doing, what you're saying right there is dangerous. What you're saying right there is dangerous. Because what you're signifying to people who follow you, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who's supposed to know better. You're supposed to be a psychiatrist who understands people's brains and how they work. When you're vocalizing to somebody or to people on a platform, getting watched by millions of people, that they don't really truly believe in something unless they're willing to die for it, that's crazy. That's crazy. You are essentially putting out there into the universe. This is so dangerous because Jordan Peterson, okay, I'm going to explain why this is dangerous before everybody gets all like, oh, what are you going to liberalify this and turn it into this big deal? No. Hear me out, right? He is a guy who has made a living for the past decade basically giving speeches to help young men find their way. Men who felt abandoned by society, men who felt like women weren't interested in them anymore, all these men that are out there that feel like they get no appreciation for the hard work that they do, which there is a lot of men out there, and it's sad. It's a sad situation. And Jordan connected with these men. He connected with these men, and he's got millions of them that are his fans, not only across the country, but in Canada and all over the world. And these people will hang on every word that he says. And he's now saying on a platform in front of millions, knowing that people who are a fan of his are going to watch it, that you don't really truly believe in something unless you're willing to die for it. That's really, really, really scary. Because you're basically putting it out there, letting them know that if you really feel like you want to fight for MAGA, or if you want to fight for anti-abortion, or if you want to fight for, immigrants in the country, or if you want to fight for any of these things, he says you need to kill and die for what you believe in. Like, what are you talking about? So you're basically telling these people, go out there and die for what you believe in. Go out there and kill for what you believe in. Go out there if you really believe in it. Otherwise, you just say it and you don't really believe it. That is so absolutely unbelievably toxic and terrible. And this is a guy who claims to be someone who is a psychiatrist who prides himself on understanding how the human mind works. What a moron way to move forward. I mean, that is just so stupid.
You live for it, and you die for it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't say kill for it. He said live for it. But regardless, you're still telling people to die for what they believe in. Crazy talk.
So you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
That's what he
Not
said.
really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you
See?
define belief?
He really does.
Something you say?
okay, so I explain. Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists.
Hold on. I actually want to rewind that because I know I keep stopping it on accident, but I really want to capture, like, what is he actually saying here?
Something you say?
Wait a minute. Let's back
So
up.
you're saying that.
You live for it, and you die for it.
Okay. So you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief? Something you say?
okay, so I explain. Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen.
So now he's going to go on to say this pen, right? He's talking about the pen on the table and just listen.
Exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't be
life.
so sure.
You wouldn't lie to save your life.
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career.
See, that's a lie because his entire career is based on a lie. And I will explain to you exactly what I mean by that. Anyone who's followed Jordan Peterson from the very beginning when he first started to emerge, anyone who started watching him years ago when he first started to kind of make a name for himself, which was around the whole free speech thing, which was, who doesn't get behind a free speech person, advocate, whatever you want to say. But he was outwardly and admittedly a liberal. outwardly and admittedly a liberal. He said his big issue was free speech, that he just didn't agree with the Canada's policy, that he had to watch what he said, or that he had to say a certain thing or address kids by a certain thing that they wanted to be addressed, because in his view, it was anti-free speech. But he said aside from that, he's liberal across the board, and that anybody who is attacking him for it doesn't understand his politics, right? Since then, he has gone way off the Richter and further down rabbit holes to support MAGA, to support Trump, to go on Joe Rogan, to associate with Ben Shapiro, to surround himself. He got in business with Ben Shapiro, with the Daily Wire, right? And like all these different types of right-wing sort of things, and many things, including climate change, which we know Jordan Peterson is smart enough to know climate change exists. I know for a fact he knows that. But he was willing to essentially not say that it didn't exist, but talk circles around why people don't necessarily need to sit there and act like it does exist. And find some sort of intellectual word salad that he could put together that, if you break it down, makes no sense. And I've ran things he said through AI, because he uses a lot of these, really insane words, like large words that I'm not talking, believe me, I have a very big vocabulary, but he uses words that are really crazy. Like he'll throw these words in there and like he'll try to trick people like, yeah, I know words you don't. So that means that what I'm saying is correct. But if you actually turn your microphone on ChatGPT and record what Jordan Peterson says when he's talking, and then run it through ChatGPT and say, is what he said true? It'll break down what he said, and you'll find out all the truth about how he creates word salads that really aren't the truth. And this is a fact. I've done this, and I will do it live on the show if you guys want to see me do it. But 100%, it's a reality. So anyways, that being said, it's like, he's just somebody that he's pedantic. He tries to word salad his way out of things. He attacks character when he's losing debate. He's just really not this intellectual guy that everybody thinks. And when he first got started, he announced himself as a liberal, and then further and further and further went right. And the reason why was because of money. He knew the vast majority of people that were watching him were Republican, were MAGA, were right wing, not even Republican, more people that were just hardcore MAGA like type people, and right wing talking points, and like people from the Charlie Kirkosphere and like people like that were people that were listening to him. So he knew, if I say the truth right now, I'll lose my audience. And so don't sit there and try to act all fucking high and mighty and high with your morals, like as if you're like some guy that would Superman. I would never lie to save my life. I didn't even lie for my career. Crap. You've lied for your career. Most of your success came from literally shim-shamming through conversations to avoid saying things that you know is the truth, to avoid losing your fan base. So how dare you act like you have the moral high ground? Pathetic.
I didn't lie to save my clinical practice.
Would you lie to like save your children, your mom, your dad?
I don't think lying would save them.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
I'll give you an example. If you're like in like Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's like Jewish people in your attic and you're trying to protect them, would you lie to like the Nazis?
I would have done everything I bloody well could.
So in a way, he basically just said it's the Jews' fault. He basically just said you were steeped in sin. That's why you wound up in the position you were in. So now his rhetoric is that Jews are to blame for Adolf Hitler, like mass unaliving people, right? So this is insanity. This is insanity. Like, I don't know if it's old age. I don't know what's going on with Jordan Peterson. I don't know if he's fully drunk on the Kool-Aid. But he looks like he doesn't even look fit to be on this debate. These young college kids are making mincemeat of him. Like, I mean, this is just absurd.
So I wouldn't be in that situation to begin with. It's a hypothetical, and it's not.
I wouldn't even be in that situation to begin with, unlike the Jews. I don't know how they wound up in it. I guess they were steeped in sin. I wouldn't wind up in that. That's what he's saying.
Hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like that because it's far.
Did you eat
Don't
today?
play games.
I'm not playing games. I'm just
Yes.
asking.
The only person playing games is you. First, you tell the other guy you're not a Christian when you're there to debate as the Christian in the room, the singular Christian in the room. You're not a Christian. Now you're like, I don't want to discuss hypotheticals. You're talking about religion and philosophy. There's no way to have this debate without engaging in hypotheticals. It is literally impossible. And you're there, like the only person playing games is you, dude.
I just told you I would do everything that I could to make sure that I'm never in that situation. By the time you've got there, you've made so many mistakes that there's nothing you can do that isn't a sin.
Unbelievable. So the victim blaming. So you're in a situation right now where a person who wants to hurt you because they simply just don't like your race or your religion or whatever, that lying, you lying right there, it's your fault that you're even in a position to lie, because if you weren't engaged in sin in the first place that led you to that position in the first place, this is unbelievable. Like, he's literally saying it's up to the individual not to wind up in this situation. Now, that could be true in most cases, but when you're dealing with like Adolf Hitler, when you're dealing with Germany in 1930s and 40s, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? There is such thing as a power structure. There is such thing as a person taking over your government and having authoritarian rule, and people having no real way to defend against that. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Other than call you, like in America, what's going on with Trump, right? Subverting all the laws. Call your congressperson. Like, I mean, it's just literally insane. Like, it's their fault. You wound up in that situation.
Being born in Nazi Germany and trying to protect people that you care about, like there could be a Jewish friend that you have, and you want to protect them.
I think you should
have
just
them in
give
your
up on
attic.
that line of questioning.
But like, okay, again, you're not answering this hypothetical because you know it shows that you clearly would lie to save
I'm
someone's life.
answering it in
Obviously,
a
that's not
manner
what
you
truth
don't
is.
find acceptable.
Obviously, because I care about truth.
I wouldn't be in that scenario.
Obviously, right? Logically, because that's already happened. Like, that's in the past. You don't have a time travel device.
So nothing bad will ever happen to you, Jordan. Nothing bad will ever happen to you. You'll never be in a position where you have to lie to get yourself out of a situation, because you wouldn't be in that situation because you have full control over everything that happens to you in your life. You have complete autonomy and you're 100% in control, and everything that happens to you is because you want it to, and anything that happens to you that you don't want to will never happen to you because you have full control over that. That's literally what he's trying to argue. He's a complete buffoon, and I'm over it. And this guy is a joke and a fraud, and he needs to be exposed. Anyways, I'm Tom Kane. Again, this is Vile Maxim. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and let's keep them rolling. Thanks, guys.